guys, Rebecca here. Welcome back to And a Sprinkle of Love. I thought it would be fun to bring you back into my kitchen here and do a little cook with me. Someone had asked how I make my vegetable beef soup, and I thought, well, it's probably a good thing to actually get a recipe written down because I'm kind of a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So to start, I diced up some celery, carrots, and onion. And in this pot here with a little oil, I actually sauteed them a little bit to, because I think it just tastes better. It brings out their flavor. And then I removed it from the pan. And then I took my beef stew. I use beef stew meat because it's cheaper cut of beef, but I can cook it and I can cut it and trim it, and and it works nice. It has lots of good flavor. And then I actually brown that in a little bit of oil too, just a little bit of olive oil. And then I add 12 cups of beef broth. You can use vegetable broth. I prefer beef, so I add the beef broth in, and I add an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. And then I take about half a cup of my sauteed onions, celery, and carrots, and I add that in the broth, and I bring it to a simmer, put the pot on or the lid on, and let it cook for about an hour and a half or so, just to get on a simmer, just to get the beef nice and tender, and kind of the veggies in there kind of melt into the broth and kind of just give it even more flavor. I just seasoned it with a little salt and pepper. Sometimes I throw a little thyme and basil in. And then so it has been cooking for about an hour and a half now. So I went ahead and brought it back up to a boil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, I have the rest of those veggies here that I sauteed earlier. I'm going to add that back in. Then I have, this is about 1.5 cups of green beans. They're just frozen green beans. I just kind of broke them up a little bit so they're not so, they're not so long. Add that in. I have a cup of corn. And you can use whatever veggies you like. If you don't like some of the stuff, then you can most definitely, zucchini would be great in this. Sometimes I try to grow some in the summer, and if I make a pot of it in the spring or in the summer, I'll use that in the soup, and that's always really good. Or just whatever you like, you can use. And that was about a cup of just potatoes. Half of our family loves sweet potatoes, the other half doesn't care for it, so I just use regular potatoes, and that was about 2 medium potatoes. And then I have about a cup of cabbage, and this is actually just coleslaw mix that I had left over, and that saved me a little time. So that is there. Let me grab a proper spoon. And so I'm just going to bring this back up to a simmer. You can see it's beautiful. It's just swimming with just tons of beautiful vegetables, and with the beef and the broth, it's such a healthy meal, but so hearty. And I am going to let this cook and simmer for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then I will we actually like to make it beef noodle soup. You can just at the end just bring it back up to a boil, add your egg noodles in it, but I actually find that the noodles get really soggy in there if you're not going to eat the whole thing right away, because this is definitely going to be leftover. So I'll actually just boil a separate pot and just kind of add the noodles to each bowl at the end. And actually I'll just show you what it all looks like when it's done. So for now, I'm just going to put the lid on, let it cook, adjust the seasonings how I need to, and we'll be back. Okay, so here is the bowl. I just, as you can see, sorry for my shadow, I just put some noodles at the bottom of the bowl. Just keep it separately, and then just go ahead and dish up here. I already dished up for the rest of the family, so I'm just gonna show you my hubby's plate actually. So look at how all that good stuff in there. So delicious and so filling too. And really economical. I mean, you can really your family can really eat well for not a lot of money and eat pretty healthy too. Yeah, so that is what that looks like. Ew, and I made those and on the side I made everyone kind of like their own little individual mini loaf of bread. Yeah, so that is my vegetable beef soup recipe, and I will leave a link for the recipe down below. Thanks so much for watching. Be blessed and be a blessing.